MyOutcomes has taken all of this information and put it in a web-based system that allows you to not only administer and score, but also aggregate the data and be able to address return on investment and also be able to address funders' need for evidence-based practices. So I love this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I don't know if you have seen this before, but I like it and I've used it for a long time. If a man will kick a fact out of the window, when he comes back, he finds it again in the chimney corner. So let's look at the facts about early change and the usual course or trajectory of change in psychotherapy.
And your phone and your name.
And I just froze up here. Sorry about that. Let me quickly do this. You know, I've been interested in this early change phenomenon for, you know, a long time, and, you know, it really struck me from the very beginning from Ken Howard's work in 1986, believe it or not. Ken Howard was the first one to look at trajectories of change in psychotherapy, and here is what he found. Now, if you look at this graph, now again, way back in 1986, the first 6 to 8 sessions accounted for most of the change that was going to happen in psychotherapy. Now that dotted line is client perspective, and you see that most change happens in that first 6 to 8 sessions, regardless of how long. And if it goes on for 104 sessions there, that was survivor analysis, by the way, not real clients, but nevertheless, if it goes on that far, you see that there is additional change, but it's a course of diminishing returns. In other words, it takes a lot more therapy to realize gain. If we look more recently at studies, and even studies that didn't even look at the trajectory of change, like you've heard me talk about the Cannabis Youth Treatment Project and Project Match, look at when change happened. It happens right away in the treatment trajectory. It doesn't flatline for 3 years, for example, in that bottom graph, and then all of a sudden the client has an epiphany and changes. In that study, Project Match, if they were going to address their drinking, they did it in the first 3 to 5 weeks of treatment. And you've heard me talk about the TDCRP, the Treatment of Depression Collaborative Research Program, same deal. Look at when the change happened in all bona fide treatments. So, you know, we have to conclude that early change is an important factor for the prediction of short and long-term outcome. No other two ways about it. And if you think about it from a clinical point of view, and that's what I do, is I apply all this to the actual work itself, because I'm a clinician first, and this was a real gift. This gave me a way to identify clients who weren't responding to what I usually do so that I could talk to them about it and we could collaboratively form new directions for our therapy, right? It allows me to catch people who are on course for a negative outcome, either dropping out or not benefiting from my work.